friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today I'm going to tell you about the books that I read in February 2023. Okay, so if I'm being honest today, I am like majorly fighting some anxieties and my brain is just not my friend today. So I thought it'd be nice to sit down and film because it's been a minute and I'm really trying to get back on my reading and filming and like being productive schedule. This is the last month of my 20s. It's wild. I turn 30 next month and I just want to be in a good place ending my 20s. Mentally, emotionally, all of the ease. But that's not why we're here. That's not what we're talking about. We're here to talk about the books that I read this month, which was an okay reading month for me. I'm not like crazy excited about too many of these, but the ones that I did enjoy, we'll discuss. So let's start off with the one that I read first, the one I finished most recently, which is Gleanings, the stories from the Arc of a Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So I picked this up. I had no idea this was coming out. I picked this up end of last year and was so excited to read this. This is basically an anthology of stories set in the world of the Arc of the Scythe series, which, as you can see on my shelf, I read over the course of the last couple of years and really, really enjoyed. However, apparently my brain just like completely blocked out the last book entirely, which was a bit unfortunate because some of this I think would have had a lot more context if I remembered the last book. So there's that. That being said, the first half of this I sludged through, and then there's a story called The Martian Minute where it really took a turn and I read the rest of it pretty quickly after that. But the first like third of this, I sat on this book for a minute. So I'm glad I finished it. I actually did end up enjoying it more than I thought that I would. I almost actually now want to read the last book in the Arc of the Scythe series and then go back and look at some of these stories to kind of reacquaint myself, because again, I just think it would just have a little bit more impact. But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed it. I think I ended up giving it 3 or 4 stars. Next, let's talk about a random not Barnes & Noble, Target pickup that I got when I was just feeling a little meh this month. This is The Cursed Princess Club by Lamb Cat. This is a webtoons comic that they've obviously now published, and I actually really enjoyed this. It's really odd but really funny and just kind of reads like an anime show, and I liked it. I do want to pick up the second one that comes out this year, and it's about 3 sisters who are basically becoming betrothed to men from another kingdom because of their father's choices, but Gwendolyn basically is told by one of the princes that she is ugly and kind of reveals that concept, and then basically becomes or stumbles upon the twisted world of the Cursed Princess Club. So she basically makes some friends with people who just don't fit the princess type mold. It's really funny. It's kind of weird, but I enjoyed it, and I think I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Okay, next I read 2 nonfiction by 2 people that I've very much been interested in and have had these books on my shelves for quite some time. The first is Jane Goodall, My Life with the Chimpanzees. This is, I think, her first original story where she writes about just her life growing up, her life with the chimpanzees. I think it comes up to about 1980 before the book ends, so it is a bit dated just in terms of where her life is at now, but I'm obsessed with Jane Goodall, just the concepts of her life and just everything about her. I wish this book was bigger. I wish there was more to it. It's definitely, I'm not the target audience. I think this definitely is a kid's book, so it's pretty simplified in what is presented. It is a revised version, so I do wonder if there is a full version. Maybe someone let me know down in the comments below if there is a full version of this where she talks in depth a little bit more, because yeah, it definitely reads like a children's book, and I just found that either way it was really light and really heartwarming and really empowering, and I'm just obsessed with her so much, so I really enjoyed this, and I think I gave this one 3 or 4 stars as well. then I read, for Black History Month, I wanted to read something very poignant, and so I read Rosa Parks' My Story. This obviously is her life story, and there's a lot of things in this I didn't know before reading her book, just really how involved she was in the activist side of things from Black history and different things in that regard. I found it really fascinating. Yeah, just in that capacity, I think it's a poignant story, one that's definitely important to read. And again, I think with this one, it ended up ending a couple years. I think it ends in 1980s as well, actually. So pretty close. I think she died in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. So it's, you know, definitely as always, a very poignant book to read, a very important book to read. And yeah, I found it really interesting. So I gave this one, I think, 3 stars. Okay, next I read a beautiful book. This is The Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. This is the companion spin-off novel to A Sorcery of Thorns, which I read a couple of years ago and really enjoyed. There was a lot from that book I really didn't remember, so I think it probably would have been poignant for me to read that prior to reading this, because a lot of things I kind of felt like I had to play catch up to as I was kind of jumping into this, because this really is like a moment in time type of story. You're kind of just thrust back into the world without really, not a lot of context, so that was a little challenging. But yeah, overall, Margaret Rogerson, I love her writing. It's very beautiful. It's really ethereal, beautiful to read. Her covers are always stunning. But yeah, overall with this, it was fine. It wasn't anything crazy, and I think I ended up giving it 3 stars. So if you like Sorcery of Thorns, I would definitely say check it out. If not, it's all right. For another graphic novel this month, I read Needle and Thread. This is by David Pickney. This is a really cute, like, middle grade type of story. I love picking these up every once in a while when I'm in like a bit of a reading slump. This one was really cute as well. It just wasn't really anything for me to write home about. It definitely reads pretty young. It's about a boy who likes to design clothes and a girl who's really into comics and graphic novels, and they basically team up together to help design her a costume for a like comic convention. And her dad is super strict and super controlling because he's running for mayor of the town that they're currently a part of. So she just ends up kind of not being the best of friends to this group of people and just kind of tries to like hide this secret part of her life. So yeah, it was a good read. I enjoyed it. It just really wasn't anything for me that was like super poignant, because I just feel like the communication aspect was sometimes frustrating in the story. But yeah, overall, I think if you've got more someone in the target audience for this, I do think it's a cute one about kind of just embracing your individuality, which is always super important. So I think I ended up giving this one, same thing, like a 3 out of 5. Okay, now let's talk about this book. We've talked about it last month. We're talking about it again. I've officially caught up on the ACOTAR series, and now I am, along with the many other people, desperate for her next book in this series. I finished A Court of Silver Flames. This book is a chunk, and I sped through it so fast. Like, this book reads so quickly. Nesta and Cassian, like, this is without questions definitely the steamiest book in the series by far. Like, just full on steam. I'm sure for some people it's probably pretty tame, but for the rest of us, compared to the rest of the series, it's spicy. So yeah, this book is great. There were a lot of things about this I really loved. I think I ended up giving it 5 stars. There were certain aspects of it that I wish could have been expanded on a little bit more. It was really interesting to just see Nesta's story and her development as a character over the course of this book. There were certain things that I'm trying to think, like, particularly like with her relationship with Cassian, that I wish were a little bit more fleshed out. Like, it definitely was more of a slow burn / angsty type of relationship, which overall I enjoyed, because I feel like the coming together with them finally when it happened was that much more satisfying. Spoiler alert, they end up together. I think that's pretty common knowledge at this point. But anyways, yeah, I do wish there was more of the other characters. Like, I feel like it took so much of the investment of the previous 4 books in the series that we got with like Rhys and Feyre, and I wish we could have delved more into them. But I get that this was kind of building Nesta's world and her own characters and her own friends, so I really wish we could have had, especially with people like Moore and Amryn and things like that, that I don't know, I just wish we had gotten a little more of their characters, because it was kind of like little moments and everyone kind of was like such a jerk to Nesta. Granted, I get it, it was out of love, but like, I don't know. It all comes together in the end, and I won't spoil that aspect of anything for anybody, but like, this is good. And now I want the next one, and I'm officially a Sarah J. Maas stan, and I will now read everything that she ever comes out with, including Throne of Glass series, which is coming out in hardback this summer in the new covers, which I will be picking up, along with the Crescent City series. So don't worry, that is coming this year. This is my new obsession. Hop on board if you haven't already. All right, friends, so that is everything that I read for the month of February. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, liking, and subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Let me know what some of your favorite reads were for the month of February, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!